Making a video of my garden. Today is June 7, 2023, and I'm starting to enjoy the blooms and on the flowers that I planted last fall. So it was very end of September 2022 that I planted all of these plants, and I'm kind of new to gardening and learning as I go along. I'm having to rearrange and readjust things as I go along, and this is still in progress. I have still a lot of space that I need to plant things in. I plan to rearrange a few things, but for the most part I'm quite happy with how it's turning out. I'll start on this side. So on the very end here, these are geraniums, and I think that they're very hardy. A good friend of mine recommended these. She said that you don't have to do much and they'll give you blooms. So they grew quite a bit. It was a very small plant I planted, and they spread nicely. I think they kind of spread by rhizomes under the ground, and this will fill up this corner really nicely. So I love those. This one here, this is I think it's a Indian pink Spigelia, and this is supposed to spread. I think it's supposed to get up to 24 inches tall and wide, and it will be like a nice mound. It's very pretty. This one here, this is Veronica, and it's just starting to form the blooms. I was hoping that this would bloom earlier, but it seems like it's kind of a bit of a later bloomer, but it should be lovely once it starts blooming. In the front here I have Millenium Allium. They've not started to bloom yet, but I love the effect of just the leaves. I think it looks very pretty in the front of the border. These ones here, can't remember what it's called. Let's see, haven't planted these yet. It's Veronica. I guess this is similar to that one, but just in the pink color. So this is Veronica, Veronique Rose, and I've not planted these yet. I have to find a spot for them, but I just love the color. Gives my garden a nice splash of pink. This one behind here, it's Lady's Mantle. I bought it for the foliage, and when it rains, the droplets just sit on the leaves, and it looks so beautiful. And I didn't think it would get that big, but I think it looks so lovely, and I think it looks nice against the purple there. It's a nice contrast. So right here I have Night Salvia. This is one of the first bloomers I had, and I just love the way it looks. I liked it so much that I bought a second one, and I planted it a couple of weeks ago, so hopefully that will fill in nicely. This one did get quite big, bigger than the little information packet was telling me. This one here, it's a mini variety of catmint, and it's called Kit Kat catmint, and it's quite a short one. I can't remember now exactly how tall, but this is, I think, probably the shortest that it comes in. Not yet bloomed, but it's starting to form the blooms. Very small, but it's just starting to form. Right in front I have lamb's ear, and this was one plant, and I divided it into a second one early in the spring. So now I have two plants. This is the same geranium I have in front here. Let's see, along the back, I just planted these. This was, I think it was yellow Mellow Cone Flower, and I'm supposed to get a combination of colors, different yellows and creams in there. So far I'm not really seeing much variation in the color, but it still looks very pretty. I think it will give a nice pop of yellow to my very purple garden. Back here I've planted Magnus coneflower. So this is the native variety. It's just a very soft pink color, and I think once it blooms, I think it will look very lovely. It'll give a nice splash of pink to this area. Back here we have Baptisia or false indigo, and it's so beautiful, and I need to move that somewhere else. and I've read that it doesn't like to be moved, but this plant needs space. It can get as big as 36 inches wide and tall, and it's really going to be kind of squashed here. And I planted a little lilac behind here, and this is a new variety. I bought it from the Proven Winners website. It's called Purpink Bloomerang, and it's a variety that blooms in spring, and then I think it's supposed to continue to bloom. Normally lilacs just bloom in the spring, so I'm excited to see how that one turns out. It's so small right now though, so I'm not really expecting too much from it this year. Over here I have this is a variety of hydrangea. I can't remember the name of this one, but it's just starting to bloom. And I have another hydrangea here. This one I just planted a few weeks ago. This one is the Little Quick Fire. So this is supposed to bloom in spring with little white flowers, which turn to pink in the summer, and then I think they turn reddish in the fall. So it'll be exciting to see some of those colors. This here is a type of hyssop. It's the black Adder Hyssop, and it will get a dark purple blooms, and from what I understand it will get, I think, 2 to 3 feet tall and 18 to 24 inches wide. So it shouldn't get that wide, but it will get tall. So I think it should look very pretty here. This is catmint. I think it was cat's pajamas, and it's just looking so pretty. It's such a lovely color. It gives like a very nice fresh lilac color in the garden. This one I just planted a few weeks ago. I think it was like 4 weeks ago. I think it's called Knautia Thunder and Lightning, and the packet didn't say how wide it gets, so I'm not sure exactly size-wise how big this will get, but it has such an unusual, very unusual flower. It's just so pretty. Lovely. Over here I have this same Magnus cone flower. So I have a couple of plants. There's one right here. That's the Magnus cone flower. I have a couple tucked in behind here, because I'm thinking while the hydrangeas growing, I'll at least have some color over here. This is a clematis. I think this was the Sarah Elizabeth clematis. It's just starting to form the blooms, and it should be like a pretty, very pale pink color. So that'd be lovely to see that one. This is a type of salvia. I'm forgetting the name of this one, but this was one of the first bloomers in the garden, and it's such a beautiful pink color. I just love it. It really fills up this area. This is just 2 plants I have here. This one here, this was the drumstick allium. I was a little bit disappointed that I thought this was a spring bloomer, and it's June 7 today, and I'm still not seeing any color. You know, it's the buds have formed, but I thought it was an early spring bloomer, but I must have been mistaken. Same geraniums on this end here. They're kind of small. I planted them very recently. In the front I have annuals. So these are, I have cosmos, which are the pink, I'm sorry, the white ones, and the light pink, and this darker pink color here. So those are all cosmos. I have this one here, this lighter purple color that you see. That's a Verbena bonariensis, or I think it's Meteor Shower, I think also it's called. This one, I think that one is Lantana, and it's very small. That's also been planted very recently, but I think that... Okay, Hafiz. Alright, Hafiz. Hafiz. And so over here I have, what was it called? It's a spreading ground spreader thyme, creeping thyme. Oh, elfin, yes, elfin creeping thyme. and it's still very small. I think this is supposed to get 1 to 3 inches only, and it will blossom this tiny purple flower. So I'm hoping that this will fill in between the stepping stones nicely. I think it would look so lovely. Let me see if I missed anything. These ones, this is the Cardinal Flower, and this would be a fall bloomer. So right now they're very small. Hummingbirds just love this one. It has a very beautiful red flower. This one here, it's I think Helianthus. It's a false sunflower. It will have this very pretty yellow flower, and it will get about 3 to 4 feet tall. So I think it will make a nice backdrop in this flower bed. And this is the same Helianthus right here. This is a type of the allium that will have a pretty pink, pale pink flower. I have to find a spot for that one. This one here, it's I have 2 of these planted next to each other. This is the obedient plant. I have this in a very soft pink color, and hopefully this will be blooming in the next month or so. This will get quite tall. I have more cone flowers here. This is the powwow pink or berry, and it will have a very lovely dark pink color. So looking forward to seeing everything blooming, but right now I'm very happy with the way that it's turned out. I have lots of pinks and purples, planning to add more splashes of yellow in here to kind of break up some of those common colors in here, and hopefully it will turn out really nice.